Hello, Salt Lake City! Woo! So glad to see you all here. My name is Patterson Lundquist. I'm the social media manager for Miss Eden. I'm also the head of idreamofjeannie.com, Team Eden, and I handle all the archive images and all the internet work for Miss Eden. So I'm here to help you guys know everything you want to know within limits. So first, I'd like to bring out on the stage, everyone loves him, everyone knows him, from I Dream of Jeannie, Bill Daly, Major Healy, and from Bob Newhart, Howard Borden, Bill Daly! Come on, Bill! Woo! Say hello, Bill, and keep it clean.
Wow, this is wow.
Yeah, have a seat.
Hi, everybody.
Microphone.
Oh, hi, everybody.
Believe me, he's not always this soft-spoken. All right, now, you all know her from various different appearances all the way back to I Love Lucy, Andy Griffith. The list goes on and on. She's captured all of your hearts, especially when she was released from her bottle. Salt Lake, let's give a big round of applause for the one, the only, Miss Barbara Eden. How are you, Barbara?
I'm fine.
Yay!
I'm fine.
So I'm sure that there's a lot of questions out here, and we have people lined up at the various microphones. But first, I want to, on behalf of Salt Lake, I wanted to welcome both of you here. I know that you've been asked countless times if this is your first time to Salt Lake and how you're enjoying it. So Barbara, you first. How are you feeling about Salt Lake City?
I'm having a wonderful time. This is one of the prettiest cities I've ever been in.
Yeah.
And I guess the last time I was here, my sister was living here, and it was Thanksgiving, and neither one of us knew how to cook a turkey or roast a turkey. So we called our mother, who was then living in San Francisco. I think we had the most expensive long-distance line in the world, because she was step by step, she took us through roasting a turkey. So that's Salt Lake City, you see.
And Bill, how do you like Salt Lake?
Are we in Salt Lake? I thought we were in Cleveland. What happened? Cleveland's right next to Howard Johnson. No, this is the prettiest city I've ever been in. I've never been here before, but it's just really gorgeous, lovely. I never liked this crowd, but it's really nice, guys. No, it's a dynamite city. You're very lucky. Wonderful.
That's great.
I'm from the most boring city in the world. I'm from Des Moines, Iowa. I mean, that's really boring, which is right next to Cleveland, so that's all right.
All right, well, as I already announced, we have both Bill and Barbara here, as you all know, Jeannie and Major Healy. So without further ado, I'd like to start bringing forward some of the audience members who have questions. Let's start over here on the right. Step forward.
Yes, hi. My name is Shauna, and I just want to say I'm a huge fan of I Dream of Jeannie. I grew up watching it with my mom, and we both just think you're both incredible. And thank you for coming. My question is for Jeannie, Barbara.
Okay.
Sorry. I just wondered if, on the set of Jeannie, if you had any input into your wardrobe. Your style is so adorable, and I loved pretending I was Jeannie and always tried to imitate your style when I was little. I just wondered if you had any input into your wardrobe or...
I did, actually. I was very lucky. Gwen Wakeling designed the Jeannie costume, And she had won an Academy Award for another film I did, The Wonderful World of the Brothers Grimm. And at the time, she came to me before we did Jeannie, and she said, "What color would you like? What do you think? What would you like?" I said, "Pink." And then she said, "Well, do you mind if we put a hat?" She said, "I think it's always nice to have pink around the face, the scarf around the face." So I was lucky because she gave me a choice. But I was also lucky because she was very talented.
All right, we're going to swing over here to this side. We have a question.
Hi, my name is Claire. My question is, so Bill Daly told us that he got to improvise a lot of his dialogue and that some of the cast got to do that. So what was your favorite or unexpected improvised moment on the show?
Are you asking me?
Both of you.
Because I didn't really improvise. The only time I improvised is when you stuck me in the bottle at lunchtime. We had a bottle of water, a perfume bottle, and Claudio Guzman was directing. And at lunchtime, and I was so hungry. Oh my God, I was hungry. And I think I was being the green Jeannie, the yes darling, nasty one. And they put me in a perfume bottle, and I couldn't get out, and they all left. They just left me there in water up to here.
I didn't understand the question, by the way.
Did you ever have your favorite moment of improvisation, improvising that stands out in your mind of when y'all improvised on set?
Oh man, that's a tough question. Improvised. Did we improvise at all?
You did.
Oh yes.
I didn't.
Well, I mean, I just had the best time ever. I can tell you that. And of course, I worked with her, and Larry was and working, getting paid for it. So that was kind of nice. But I had the best time in my life, just ever. Except right now in the city, I'm getting bored. Everybody's telling me, I'm telling how beautiful this is. I'm not going to go on that anymore.
A little side note I'll mention about the moment that Miss Eden just referenced. Claudio Guzman had told all of the crew and the set people that they were going to play a prank on Barbara. And they were going to put her down in the perfume bottle like she just described. And they were going to roll the cameras. And then they all were to leave and walk away and go to lunch while Barbara was inside the perfume bottle. And they went, cut, and walked off. But they left the camera running. And the footage of Barbara genuinely going, was actually her watching the crew walk away from the set with her trapped inside the giant perfume bottle. And they used the footage.
Awful. And I was hungry. And I was not very nice when I was hungry. No.
You got a question over here?
Blink yourself some food.
Yeah, you're right.
But anyway, Barbara, this question is really directed at you, but Bill can answer a similar type question. I've seen you in a lot of different things, but I'd like you to comment on working with people like Andy Griffith, Lucille Ball, and Melissa Joan Hart.
Oh
well, I've never worked with them, actually. You have.
Yes, I had a wonderful time with all of them, especially Lucille Ball, because that was right at the beginning of my career, and she was so good to me. Such a lovely, generous actress. And at the time, I was under contract. I wasn't under contract to Fox yet. I had signed a piece of paper with them, and they could pick up the option if they wanted to. And then after the show, Lucy came over and said, "I would like very much to put you under contract because I'm looking for women who can play comedy." And I got the phone call right after she asked me. So consequently, I went to Fox. And Elvis Presley.
Woo! So Bill, with you before I Dream of Jeannie, you did work with My Mother the Car and Bewitched.
My Mother the Car, there's a big hit.
No, but so for Bill, what was it like after Jeannie? You then worked with Bob Newhart as Howard Borden, the absent-minded airline navigator. So a comparative with Barbara, what was it like with Bob?
Well, Bob actually was my accountant when I was a director at NBC. No, really, he didn't want to be in the business, but he is the nicest, sweetest man I ever liked. I loved him, but I liked doing Bob with Jeannie because he wanted to rehearse. Bob never wanted to rehearse ever. He's very smart, he's very bright, but he didn't want to do it was live for the whole audience, and it was terrifying. At least when we worked together, I mean, it was fun and great. We did scenes at a time, but Bob. What was that? Did somebody just die out there? What was that? I'm dying right now trying to explain that story.
Yeah. Well, one of the things that a lot of people don't know or have thought about, a lot of shows these days are filmed before live studio audiences, as was the Bob Newhart show. But the difference back then was I Dream of Jeannie entailed so many special effects that they did not have a live studio audience. So Bill's referencing the fact that because Bob is a comedian and he writes all of his material and jokes and has the way he wants it delivered, he didn't want any rehearsals. He wanted it to be right there, cold on the spot, get the audience's laughter. And that can be a nightmare when you've come from a set like I Dream of Jeannie where Bill and Larry were able to run through the scene.
Yeah, it was great. It was great.
It was
Larry
like
was great.
Not even having to think about it. You just did it and it was smooth. So let's go ahead and go over here. We've got a question on this side.
What's your favorite role you played?
Are you asking me?
Yeah.
Well,
What did he say?
I would have to say, of course, Jeannie. I mean, that's the obvious one. But having said that, I also did 2 other television shows. The very first one I did was How to Marry a Millionaire.
Yeah.
And I don't think anyone remembers that. But it was, I played the Marilyn Monroe part in that, and I had so much fun. In those days, we did 38 shows a year. Now they're lucky if they do 12. But, and in high heels. That wasn't fun. And the second one was Harper Valley PTA. Which, yeah. And I loved playing Stella. That was such a departure from Jeannie, so it was kind of fun. You know, I could be naughty. I mean, in a different way, naughty.
Bill, what would
My favorite role was the Danish roll I had for breakfast. So that's.
You had a Danish roll? I didn't have a Danish roll. How come you did?
Well, I'm on a roll. I'm on a Danish
I
roll,
see.
actually.
All right, let's swing over here to this side. We got a question.
How do I? Sorry. Okay. First of all, I really love Jeannie. You were really amazing. I love your style. And my question is, what was your favorite show out of all the shows you have done?
Of Jeannie?
Yeah,
Okay.
Of Jeannie or my body of work?
your body of work, actually.
Okay. Well, I would say for different reasons. When I was under contract to Fox, they loaned me to MGM for 2 films with George Pal. One was The Wonderful World of the Brothers Grimm, and the other was Dr. Lau, The 7 Faces of Dr. Lau. And I loved Dr. Lau. I loved the character I played, and I loved working with Tony Randall. So I guess those 2 films actually were.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Over here to this side.
Who are you both most excited to meet here at Comic-Con?
You go first. We're going to make a lot of enemies here.
This audience is not bad to start with. I mean, this. No, it's really nice. I met Lou Ferrigno was a good friend of mine, and I met him, and that was kind of nice. So, you remember Lou Ferrigno, Incredible Hulk? Yeah, nice guy. In fact, what happened was my agent said that, that he just finished his show, and I was doing a play and directing. He said, can you use him at all? And I was doing Arsenic and Old Lace. So I figured, well, we're going to, instead of doing Frankenstein, we'll do him the Incredible Hulk. And all I said, he came in, how he's built, I grabbed him and I said, you been working out? And he was brilliant. He was just brilliant. We traveled for quite a few times. A nice, very nice man.
Great.
Okay. Patterson, I'm sorry, who's the one I just fell in love with? I just think it's so cute.
Oh.
Stanley. Yay! I love him. He's a rascal. Woo! You know?
Yeah. All right, we're going to come over here to this side for another question.
Hi, my name's Christina, and this is kind of for both of you. But I was wondering if you guys were ever thinking of making another series of I Dream of Jeannie.
Well, that's not really up to us. That's up to the people who own I Dream of Jeannie, and goodness knows who owns it now. I think it's Sony.
Yeah.
I think it's Sony Studios because they have the rights to make the feature film, which they have written about 7 scripts and haven't produced the movie yet. So, but that is probably the next thing that would be out.
Right.
Yeah.
I think I could speak for everyone, and feel free to cheer when I say this, but no one could replace Barbara Eden or Bill Daly.
Meryl Streep was actually first wanted her to do my part.
And then, of course, we have to also say that there was no one who could have played Major Nelson like Larry Hagman.
I really miss him.
And we do. We miss him. Over to this side for the next question.
Hi, thank you for both of you being here. And kind of to segue into that about Larry Hagman, I was going to say that Jeannie is one of my favorite characters that you've played. But my second favorite character is Leeann De La Vega from when you were on Dallas. And my question is, what was it like going from working on Jeannie to like 20 years later working with Larry Hagman again on the set of Dallas?
Honey, Leeann De La Vega really got him.
Yes.
I mean, she got him good. She got JR. It wasn't my master. It was JR. I had a ball. I really did. It was fun.
I thought she was talking to me. I'm sorry.
You weren't Leeann De La Vega.
I don't think he would have fit into the outfit quite the same way. All right, we're going to come over here for this side. Question?
Oh, hi. So you said Stanley was like a rascal, right? Yeah. So
A cute one.
yeah, okay. So my friend, she's like a goofball, and she just wants to know, do you find this man attractive?
Oh,
I can't
it's
see it.
Daryl from The Walking Dead. That's Norman Reedus.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I probably have to meet him in person. You know, personality means a lot.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, she just wanted to know because, she loves you, like, a lot. So, I mean, you're her favorite actress, so yeah.
Aw, thank
Hey.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Bill, do you find Norman Reedus attractive?
Yeah.
No. Let's go over here to this side for another question.
So, what are some of the conflicts that you two have had during the show I Dream of Jeannie?
We didn't have any conflicts. Did we, Bill? No. No, we didn't. And none at all. That's sort of dull, isn't it? But we didn't.
Well, Larry kept you on your toes.
Yeah. Larry kept us on our toes, but we. No.
All right.
It was
Let's come over to
happy
this.
set.
Oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry, just as a happy set. I don't know.
Yeah. Let's go over here to this side.
I have a comment and a question. Barbara, your face is so beautiful. I think it's a gift from God. And my question is for Bill. Bill, when you played all those match game shows with Gene Rayburn in the 70s, you guys got out of hand. You guys were naughty so much. Did the producers yell at you after they taped the show?
Oh, yeah. He just said I'm doing a lousy job, by the way. Shouldn't have said it. Gene Ray, the funny thing, I loved that show, but because I'm not too bright, it was easy. Gene was just wonderful. And we had the best time, but I can't drink and be funny. Well, I'm not sober, I'm not funny, but that's another story. But that show, they all drank. And we did like 6 shows. So the first show, they were kind of nice. The second show, about the 7th show, everybody was shit-faced. I mean, really, everybody's loud. Gene Rayburn's down on the floor going like this way. No, I can't. I had a... I couldn't drink it. But Gene Rayburn's a wonderful, wonderful man, by the way.
Yep. Let's go over to the side for another question.
No. Oh, okay, there it goes. I just wanted to know from you, Miss Eden, if you wouldn't mind doing is it the blink, the...
Oh, you betcha.
The whole audience just disappeared.
Little did she know, electric buzzers are put in the seats of everyone in here, so when she blinked, everyone got a jolt. No. Let's come over here for another question.
Hello. I was just wondering, wanted to ask a question to both of you. Who was your all-time favorite person to act with?
Who was our favorite person to act with? Our favorite, all time.
I don't know, all time.
All time.
Boy, you're wonderful, by the way. Not beautiful, but wow.
I was.
Wow. That was 300 years ago, and she still looks great.
Oh. No. 2039.
And you, Barbara?
Yeah, well, of course, Larry. Larry was just sort of, we were on the same wavelength when we were acting, no matter what parts we were playing. It didn't have to be Master and Jeannie. It was whatever else we did. We also did Love Letters together. We toured with it, and he was just part of me, you know. Besides Larry, though, I think I loved working with Peter Lorre. I don't know if any of you remember Peter Lorre. He was wonderful, a wonderful actor and a beautiful human being. And I really liked him a lot.
All right, let's go over to this side for the next question.
The Seven Faces of Dr. Lao is one of my favorite movies. And Barbara, I was wondering if you could share what it was like to work with George Powell and Tony Randall.
Well, they're two really different kinds of people. George is warm and cuddly, and he had a twinkle in his eye and a wonderful gift for telling stories that were warm and cuddly and nice. Tony was darling, but full of it. I mean, he was just, what a Dickens. And he was, and I loved working with him. And we did a lot together in that film. And we would play, in between times, we'd play gin rummy. And my grandma taught me to play rummy, and I was pretty good. I could not win with him. Not one game was I winning. And we're waiting. We'd play while they changed the sets, and they were quite elaborate on the back lot of MGM. And one day, I turned around and looked in back of me. He always had me sitting in front of the mirror. He could see my hand. I mean, bad.
All right, we have a question over here.
I just wanted to know, what was your guys' favorite episode in I Dream of Jeannie?
Bill, what was your favorite episode of I Dream of Jeannie?
Oh boy, I had such a good time on that show. I think my favorite one was the thing that it was something to do with a house, and I don't. The colonel was coming over, but the house. Oh no, there was no house there. Remember that?
Yeah.
But there
The
was
little
a house
boy,
there.
the little boy,
So
yeah,
I
was
on the
there.
window, so I had to open up the window. And there was no house, and that was a good part.
The episode he's speaking about is called Invisible House for Sale.
Yeah,
And
that's what it was.
Yeah, and
yeah.
Jeannie had gotten annoyed with Major Nelson because he was always doing yard work and never had time to go and do things with her. So she was going to move him into an apartment. And in the process of doing that, she decided she was going to sell the house. The house was seen by someone who wanted to buy it, and then Major Nelson found out that it was one of his superior officers and told her, get rid of the house, they can't buy it. Well, she made the house invisible. And Bill, Major Healy, decides to show up unknowing what was going on and runs into an invisible front door. And Bill did the most spectacular pantomiming of opening a door, walking in, having to climb through a window.
Yeah, you had to go out the window.
And he had to pantomime that he was actually doing it. It was hysterical.
Yeah, I did
so,
love that. That was
now,
good.
Barbara, your favorite episode?
I guess if I have one, it would be the pilot, the very first one we did on the beach where he found the bottle. I love that show. I just love it.
We're going to go over to this side for the next question.
Hi, Barbara, Bill, thanks for coming out. My question's for Barbara. I wondered if you could tell me what it's like to be a sex symbol after all these years.
Well, thank you. But first of all, I did not mean for Jeannie to be sexy. I never did. I didn't see her as a sex symbol. She was a tomboy to me, and a fish out of water. You know, she didn't. This was a world she didn't know anything about, but she had these gifts, and she adored her master, but she wasn't human. You see, everyone. It was so wrong to have us marry, because she was an entity. She was a genie, a very classical figure actually, and he was a human, so they couldn't. They just couldn't get married. I was sorry when they did, but it really was. It wasn't right. But I didn't think of her as being sexy ever. She had a good sense of humor. She had fun, and she was very physical. But you know, I'm me, and you're you, and you're you. So everyone has their own perception.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
We're going to come over here for the next question.
Oh, wait a minute. By the way, I also enjoyed being a sex symbol. So wanted to get that out.
Let's not forget that he was Major Healy and had all the girls showing up.
And the guys.
And the oh, what? No.
Ask him about roller skates.
Oh, don't ask about roller skates. Next question.
I just want to say, Bill, you're sexy, baby.
Oh, thank you.
Barbara, I was wondering if you had any fun stories from your time working with Elvis.
With Elvis, I had a lot of stories because he was such a very nice man, young man at that time. He was a gentleman, very well brought up, and we'd sit on the set, and he had one thing. He told me they were his cousins. I found out 30 years later that they weren't, you know. But there were 3 guys there with guitars, and Elvis had his, and his dad was there, and they'd sing in between. Like Tony Randall and I played gin rummy. I'd sit there and I'd listen between shots, and when they're moving the stuff around, Elvis would sing, and it was heaven, just heaven. I loved it.
Private audience with Elvis. How awesome is that? Let's come over here for the next question. Oh, microphone?
She said I have to go to the bathroom.
No.
Hello. Oh, there we go. Okay. Hi, my name's Ashley, and I have a question for Ms. Eden. You recently, for a charity event, put back on the Jeannie outfit, and I was wondering how you felt about that, and were you excited about that, and how was it?
I was terrified. Yeah, I wasn't supposed to have that outfit on. They were supposed to have made me an age-appropriate Jeannie outfit. And I got to New York. That was before we went to Vienna. What she's talking about is the Life Ball in Vienna, which is a huge charity event for Elton John's and Bill Clinton's. What are they?
The AIDS foundations, AIDS initiatives, the health.
Yeah,
health.
but they have foundations, yes. And so they asked me to be the mistress of ceremonies, and it was called 1001 Nights, of course. So I had to wear a Jeannie costume, and I would, but I wanted it age appropriate. And I got to New York, and it didn't fit me, and it wasn't right. And a girlfriend of mine, unbeknownst to me, had poked my costume in my suitcase. And that was shocking. And I knew it was there, of course, by the time I got to New York. So I asked the designer, I said, can I show you something? And you let me know if it looks all right. So I put it on, and he said, yes. Well, he would have said anything at that point because his costume didn't fit, So I had to wear it. And I was terrified. But, you do what you have to do. And I had a good time. I had a really good time.
All right. Well, we've got time for about one more question. So we're going to come over here.
This question is for both of you. I'm wondering if who your friends were. Did you have confidence, people that you talked to say what you were thinking about, roles that you were playing? Like, I know it's stereotypist, but I see you like with Elizabeth Montgomery, or something, talking.
Did you have any confidants that you spoke with or confided in during your career that, anyone that you just kind of confided in during your process? I think I know Evie would have been the one that you spoke with the most, Barbara.
Well, Evie was my stand-in.
Yep.
Yeah, and she was also Marilyn Monroe's stand-in. So I would hear about Marilyn a lot. And when Evie wasn't working with me, she was working with Evie. And actually, when I was filming 5 Weeks in a Balloon, Marilyn was at 20th Century Fox. Marilyn was shooting her last film. None of us knew it was her last film, but Evie came over on the set. She always used to tell me, Barbara, she was from New York, and she said, Barbara, I have to leave and go work with my other star. Okay, she means Marilyn. And so she left me on 5 Weeks in a Balloon, and one day while we were shooting, she came over and said, Barbara, I want you to meet my other star. And I said, I can't leave, Evie. I can't. We're shooting. We can't do that. She said, oh, no. I already made it okay. She knew everyone in town, actually, Evie. So she took me by my hand and dragged me next door to one of these huge movie stages. They were built in the 40s, I think, and they're rock solid. They're enormous. It's bigger than this room. And it was pitch black, except for this one little bit of light in the center. And there was Marilyn and the wardrobe people and the makeup people. And it was very quiet, And Marilyn stood there and did her thing. And then Evie said, oh, Marilyn, I want you to meet my other star. I died. I must tell you, she was absolutely the most beautiful thing I have ever seen. She glowed. She was, and exactly like she was on the screen. She talked like this, and she was luminescent. I'm so happy that I was given that gift to meet her, because I think she was a very sweet, lovely lady.
So, quite clearly, these two legends have had experiences that many of us wish we could have had, and yet they have given us all our own memories and our own happiness by their hard work. And I just want everyone to take one moment and think about the fact that these two legends here have proven to us by their work that fame and fortune is a side effect of hard work and good manners and clean attitudes, except for this one. No. So let's have a round of applause for Barbara Eden and Bill Daly.